So I'm Steve Jakes and I'm the Group Chief Executive Officer for Key Assets in Europe and USA. I was born in England and my parents moved to Cyprus when I was young. My mum is Cypriot and my dad is English, so kind of lived in a very mixed cultural family. But I moved to England when I was 14. I qualified as a social worker in 1994 and started my career in social work in Barnsley Council. And I spent my first 5 years in social work there. A primary reason why I became a social worker was probably linked to my own sort of family experiences. I had a cousin who was a prolific heroin user and he had a family, and I watched what was going on in their lives. And that was a huge motivating factor for me to choose a career in social work. I started working for Jim 20 years ago now, and I applied for a job as a supervising social worker working with foster carers. And the reason why I applied for the job was because I'd been intrigued by what was happening in the foster care sector. And that there were a number of non-government or private organisations beginning to emerge, and they seem to be doing really amazing work. So over the years I've worked across a number of different companies within the group, and 2005 was probably a big step change for me when Jim asked me to go and set up Fostering First in Ireland, which was really the first Key Assets company outside of the UK. And then since then I've had different roles in the organisation. 2017 I was promoted to Group Chief Executive Officer, covering all the companies across Europe, North America and the Asia Pacific region. So I suppose I've lived in lots of different places, so that probably helps in terms of being comfortable with travelling to different places. I definitely forget sometimes what time zones I'm in. Working cross-culturally has been amazing. Working in the Martin James Group has really provided so many opportunities for me to be exposed to cultures that I would have never in my lifetime imagined that I would have ever, been exposed to. I work with amazing people, and I really mean that. There are some incredible people around the group, and I suppose what gets me up every day is the difference that I see being made in the lives of children and families, and that's fundamentally what our purpose is about. And that's a real privilege, but it brings responsibilities as well, to make sure that we're delivering services really well, that they have high quality, and that we stay true to our values. Well, when I think about the vision and the future of Key Assets in Europe and USA, I think it's about staying true to our organisational purpose, which is to achieve positive and lasting outcomes for children, families and communities. That's really its top line purpose. How we do that is delivering a whole range of services that include foster care, residential care services, family support services. We provide consulting and expert services, and ultimately it's about being responsive to what our government partners need in order to help them make sure that the communities that their children are growing up in are safe and where children can achieve their full potential. And I suppose that's ultimately our purpose. So the future is about continuing to do that and not diverting from our mission. It means that we'll continue to grow, we'll continue to innovate. I hope that we continue to lead in our sector. I hope that we continue to work well together, collaborate. That's really important, So the future, as far as I'm concerned, is that we don't stop what we're doing. That with the work we do with families, the work we do with communities is ultimately about helping children to be full contributing citizens and where their full potential is achieved. I'm fortunate because I've got an amazing senior leadership team. Tia in Finland is an exceptionally good leader, Mary in Ireland, exceptionally good, the same with Afram. And the more I get to know Lars, the more I see he's a great fit within our organisation. And obviously Jennifer in Kentucky, she's transformed that place, and it's a real pleasure to see that. So yeah, I love my job. We're definitely a can-do culture, and it's definitely a fun culture, a friendly culture. I think the culture is very can-do. People work very hard, people want to do their best, fun, innovative, friendly. So they're definitely the kind of things that I think that inform the cultural norm. And of course, because we're such a diverse group, we kind of have cultures within cultures as well. Everybody, I think, buys into the vision and the mission of the organisation. I think you have to work at it. I mean, it's hard work managing a company or a network of companies across different countries. You have to put a lot of effort into maintaining those relationships. I've learned over the years that to maintain a network of companies across international borders is to really make sure that trust is high, that there is reciprocity in the relationship, and that we communicate well. And if you can keep those three components together, I think that's a recipe for a good international experience